All I can think about is what I learned in boating school is... Because it's just our recap of everything that we've learned.
Hi, I'm Anne.
And I'm Liv, and we're your meta PsycKicks.
Today, we're doing what we like to call spiritual spankings, and if you've never heard that before, I'm sorry that you have to hear about it now.
I'm not, it's great.
So, we're psychic mediums, and what we like to call spiritual spankings is essentially when souls tell us something absolutely mind-bending that is different than what we thought the universe actually worked. So, today we're going to tell you all the things that we learned in 2023, since it is the new year. The first thing on my list is the idea surrounding primitive souls. So, we started an exclusive service for Patreon, which is past life stuff, and that's when I learned that people have what we like to call primitive soul, meaning that is like their soul's energy, that's where their soul came from, it's like their entirety of their soul. The best way I can just explain it is it's like if you understand the collective heaven, spirit, whatever, as like the body of a person, we are like the cells of the body that make up the organs and the systems and all of that stuff. So your primitive soul is the like specialization of what your soul is supposed to do if it were like a cell in a body. So if you were a cell of a heart or a cell of a liver, your specialization as a soul is what's going to happen to you or how you're going to live your life when you are incarnate here. So with the reading that we had, it was a reading with this woman who was language. What the reading was specifically about was her lives started out very masculine presenting and then slowly transitioned to more feminine souls, which I found interesting because men had more of a voice back in the day, and now women are getting more and more and more of a voice. And a lot of the lives that she lived dealt with a lot of travel. Each one of her souls traveled a lot, and each one of her souls dealt with a different way of speaking. So one of her first souls was before spoken language. So they did things in a more body language, telepathy sort of way. Whereas some of her souls were born in like different countries and learned different languages that way. So her soul, because it deals with language and deals with human affairs, she, each time she incarnates in a way in which to understand herself better. And I think it's interesting because as a collective, how do you learn more things when you are, everything is like you and you is everything? How do you learn more things about that? And the way in which you do that is by understanding and experiencing yourself. So it's like the universe experiencing itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything to say about that? Is that something that you learned?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, because didn't we first figure out primitive souls when we did our past lives reading? Like our past lives video? Like, I mean, it was like the beginning of 2023, because you're the little green ball. That's your past.
That was an Akashic Records reading.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that was my, like...
Primordial soul. No, that's where we came with the thing. We're like, wait, we don't know what this is. And then we're like, what do we call this? It's like primordial souls, which is freaking great.
Do an Akashic Records reading on me, and you told me I was a green ball that dealt with the, like...
physicality.
Fire. You told me that I was the coding of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I asked Liv if she could do an Akashic Records reading on me because we've never done that before, nor have we ever watched it, but her Blue Man dude says that she would be able to do it, so we're gonna try and see if it works out.
They're showing me like a dark room and a door, but it's up higher dimensionally because I'm looking upwards. There is not necessarily people or voices, there's lights. I see that there's a green light, it's like a soft green light, and it's more of a ball, and it's talking to a white light that is a vertical sort of line of light. And my impression of this is that the green ball of light is you, which is cool.
But I am a death soul, So I am associated to things surrounding like huge overreaching change, things that are death related. You are a life soul. You are associated to things that are more living.
Which is fun. And that's like what you're talking about with the primordial soul. It's what your soul, no matter the incarnations, it's the theme of like your soul's purpose throughout every incarnation.
Yeah, but that also determines how old your soul is based upon when those things came into existence. So if you understand death, death can only exist with life and vice versa. So when life existed, that's how old our souls are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool. All I can think about is what I learned in boating school is... Because it's just our recap of everything that we've learned. Okay, so one of the things I learned this year with PsycKicks and doing readings is that meditation is not what everyone thinks it is. So a lot of the times in the metaphysical, spiritual community, whatever you want to call it, people are told that meditation is like sitting in a quiet room and like clearing your mind, listening to repetitive music, whatever. And if that works for you, go for it, my dude. But for me, that puts me into sleepy time, and it's not meditative for me, like, at all. So one of the things that I've learned through doing readings this year is that meditation is different for everybody, and it's not necessarily that repetitive clearing your mind thing. It's more so putting yourself into a state where you can have thoughts that enter your mind, but if you don't figure out what the solution to that problem is, because most times people meditate to like become more in tune with themselves and things like that, but it's the whole clearing your mind thing. But I don't think it's necessarily clearing your mind, it's allowing ideas to come into you, and if you don't have the solution for it, let it go. Think about something else. But to get into this meditative state, it isn't that repetitive quiet room thing. What it is any sort of activity in which your body calms down and your brain is able to just chill out. So for a lot of people, I've learned that could be like vacuuming their house, listening to music, washing dishes. For me, it's like cleaning horse stalls, taking my dog on a walk like at a park, like hiking type thing, or driving in my car. Those are all of the ways in which, for whatever reason, I get the most information psychically, either from my spirit guides or another soul or spiritual being. So for figuring out what your meditation is, think about it. Do you like to take bubble baths? Do you like to take really hot showers? Are you someone that enjoys cleaning or gardening, going for a walk? Whatever that thing is or could be your meditation. And it's not clearing your mind of everything, it's just allowing things to come in and let them go. Almost kind of like, like the sci-fi movies where like a projector screen comes up and it's like all of that computery stuff and people just like switch through things. That's what I like to think about it as, with your mind of like, here's a problem, can I fix it, analyze it? No, let's move on. And then you go to the next thing. And for whatever reason, that allows your spirit guides and other spiritual beings to sort of like swoop their own information into whatever it is that you're thinking of. And you're like, oh crap, that answers my question from so long ago. So that's one of the things I learned.
So do you remember that one time where you told me you actually did meditation in the way in which it's stereotypically explained?
Yes, but I still did it differently.
You like went into a trance or something?
I just walked outside.
You told me that you like went into a trance and everything started vibrating and you got scared.
Yeah, I was outside and I was not clearing my mind, but thinking about all of the different things that go through. And then my feet started tingling and so did my body. And it wasn't like it wasn't like when your feet fall asleep, because people are like, were your feet falling asleep? No. It was weird. It was almost like that state between before you're waking up and when you're about to go to sleep, but vibrating. And I was like, this is weird. So then I decided to stop doing that. But I was outside.
Meditation. Okay.
So it was very different.
Yeah, I don't know. You told me that you were meditating there.
Yeah, but
Have you ever tried doing that again?
Yes, and I fall asleep.
Got you.
So, I mean, maybe I haven't tried it outside again. Maybe I should try it outside, but it is less of clearing your mind and more of just like chilling out and letting things go.
Well, I don't think that's what meditation is described as. It's just clearing your mind of everything else. It's not that it has to be like empty.
Mm-hmm. But that's how I feel people are, like a lot of people talk about it as, is like you're not allowed to think about anything, which is like weird.
Well, that's the misconception of it. People that actually know about meditation talk about how you have to clear your mind of the things that are distracting you.
In the sense of what?
I also don't know where I'm getting this information. What?
In the sense of what? Clear your mind from things that are distracting you.
Like, you have to clear your mind from your ego.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, people have a hard time figuring out things or becoming connected to spirit, because I think that's why people, like, meditate, is to calm themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to leave all of the overthinking behind.
Mm-hmm.
So...
That's sort of looking at things and then letting it go.
Yeah, so it's about focusing your energy on something. So when you stereotypically meditate, you focus on your breathing.
Okay.
So that all the other things fall away.
Okay.
Okay, next one. So we went to a whole bunch of different ghost hunting locations this year. And going to those ghost hunting locations, people always talk about, why aren't you crossing over these souls? All of this stuff, like, why aren't you doing these things? And a lot of souls don't need to be crossed over because they have the ability to, like, come back to places they've been before. But I went to this one location and this soul came back a few days ago and explained to me what crossing over a soul actually is. Because a lot of people have misconceptions about that, and I also had misconceptions about that. So, he was a surgeon, and he was talking about how when he was a surgeon at this location, he had a really hard time with the idea of people dying. To the point, like, he did a lot of, like, experimental surgeries and things like that were still, like, in practice, but they were still trying to figure out all of the, like, in and outs of it. So he explained to me that doing that is a hard job, and he almost, like, lost himself because he didn't want these people to die from it, but there wasn't, like, a better solution. He thought he was helping people. So he, as a soul, explained that when he passed over, when he died, a piece of him was left there, and I don't believe in separation I believe the separation is illusion, so technically it's not necessarily, like, he's separated, but it's like he lost a piece of himself, and that's, like, a fragment that can be crossed over. So, when we went to, like, Madison Seminary, you know the little girl in the, like, mind warp room?
So we go kind of like with the paranormal behind them is what we call them. Like this room we call the mind warp room. There are multiple spirits in this room, but there's one particular female who likes to make you feel pretty much everything she felt while she was here.
Yeah, there's one hiding back here.
Who are they? Male, female?
I don't know if I'm making it up. They look like a female, like a girl. She has dark hair, very timid. I feel like they used to do horrible things to her. Did we cross her over? Because he was explaining to me that fragment of her soul that was, like, she lost herself in there because it was so traumatic. That was part of her soul that was, like, then crossed over and brought back to the, like, big cell of everything.
Do you see her as having blonde, straight hair?
No.
Okay.
Dark straight hair, like, very dark.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Is the doctor that you're talking to, does he have hair like your color or a little bit lighter?
He has, like, brown hair.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure. Well, the reason I ask is because there was a girl with blonde straight hair and she waved from my right hand side. But if that's not what she looks like, then...
You don't remember her?
No, I do. I remember the room. You went in and talked to her.
Yeah.
She was talking about bunnies and things about herself. But I'm not sure. I don't see why not.
Look like she had blonde hair when we were there?
For me, maybe, because that's how I'm remembering her. I don't remember.
Interesting.
It was a long time ago for me.
To me, she looked like Violet from The Incredibles.
Did you say that in the video?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
That's why I'm like confused as to why you're telling me that you thought that she had blonde hair, because I was like, were we seeing the same person?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I feel like we crossed her over because we were telling her story and that it was like she got understanding from us, because I feel like we went there for a specific reason, because our souls are very much tied to a place like that, because we have a past life in an asylum like that. But it was interesting because when we were doing our investigation there, and I didn't realize this when we were there because I was stressed because we were making videos, but when I was watching it during the editing process, you kept saying, she wants to talk about us. She wants to talk about us. She didn't want to talk about our lives. She wanted us to realize that we had past lives similar to the people that were in that asylum. I feel like you were autistic in that life, and I feel like I had some sort of hallucination type ailment, disability that caused me to like end up in that very young, which then caused me to get DID.
No, I think you did, because
Yeah.
I remember talking about her sister, and I'm like, why do you look younger and you have a different colored hair, but it's straight and long? And I think her sister is the one that's telling me or confirming what you're saying.
She says being in here was bad for her mental health, but she didn't realize that it was bad for her mental health because people told her that it would get better if she was in here. Because she's showing me like snippets of her life where she would sit here and like look at how the walls are and try to understand the walls, because there's nothing to do. So when your brain moves as fast as hers, it's hard to be in a solitary place, especially with other people that are just as nervous around you. That's why she's so anxiety filled. Because I like her because she's very much like me. Is this true?
Yes?
Is that my soul from when I was in an asylum?
The dark-haired girl?
No.
The blonde-haired girl?
Yeah.
I have no idea. She just says she had a sister, and that's who I remember talking to when she said she had a sister, but like that piece of her soul is in heaven with her sister, which is why her sister's confirming it. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out who I'm talking to, because I remember you saying that she looks like Violet in the video.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to her, but I had a lot of things like on my mind when we were there. So I'm like, wait, why do you look different? And she's, remember the bunny? I was the sister. I was like, got it, okay.
Well, she's telling me right now that who you're seeing is me from that past life where I was in an asylum. Because she's like, you helped me cross over through the understanding that you had in your past life, and I helped you cross over that fragment of your soul because I have the same understanding. Because once I talked to her and started like editing that video, I started getting more pieces of it because I got a flashback of that prior to going to that place. And I remember telling you, there's this woman that's like screaming and like pounding her fists against a door, and the room is entirely white. Because I thought it was for one of your readings, but it was like one of my past lives being triggered. And then we went to that place and I started editing the video, and I got more visions of that place. And she's telling me the woman that you're seeing, because I normally incarnate with light colored hair, blonde or this color, that you're seeing me.
I don't know. Did you have blonde hair that was long and straight?
It was like brown.
Oh, I don't know then.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But also, you can't really listen to me because if I had alters, I would think that I would look different for each alter.
Ah.
So I have no idea. And that's
Were
why
you
you're
her
seeing
sister?
me. No.
Okay. Huh, interesting.
I think she's telling you sister because we are like
Soul sisters.
similar.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, well then yeah. Because that's the information I get. And she's holding a bunny stuffed animal to reference me talking about the bunny when we were at the asylum. Because that's for whatever reason, that's the biggest part that my brain remembers.
Yeah. I
So
think we crossed her over.
that's cute.
She's still there, but she's not, that part of her soul isn't trapped there anymore. So she has the ability to go back there and go back to heaven, but the piece that she lost is now a part of her soul again, like more connected.
That's
So,
cute.
yeah, your turn.
Okay. Well, I also have something from Paranormal Investigations. I put entities can't follow you home unless you let them. So a lot of people are like, aren't you scared of souls and dark entities following you home when you come home from Paranormal Investigations? And the answer is no. Separation, like Em said, is an illusion. So most of the people that we talk to are crossed over. They're not like stuck there. So that goes the same thing with like dark entities. So when we were coming home from the Fairfield Infirmary, there was like this weird scary dude, entity, not a person, in the back of our car freaking out Anthony, and I forget what we named him, but he was freaking us out. So Em and I dealt with it in the way that we do, with bad dad jokes and joking around and being silly, and keeping our energy positive is what kept that thing from coming near us, because they're like, well, this isn't fun, we can't scare you. So they didn't follow us home. So when we went to the Conjuring House with Amanda from Mackie and Amanda, we'd planned that for like a couple months out, but I ended up going 1 month postpartum with my baby and my mom. And for all the people that are like, why did you bring your baby to the Conjuring House? He wasn't at the Conjuring House. He was at the hotel with my mom. But it was just very stressful given what had happened. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I know things can't follow you home, but I'm super stressed out mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I need to be on my game to make sure that nothing can follow us home, because I have to keep that mentality of like, that doesn't happen because I'm happy and nothing's allowed to come home with me, because that's just the line in the sand that I'm drawing. But I was so stressed out about it that I was at home sleeping in my bed. The scary dark entity from the Conjuring House, he always bothers me. When we went there with our investigation team, it freaked me out because he's very good at twisting the things in my mind of what I'm scared of, because he's a human soul, not human soul, duty head type thing.
Who's the man?
That's the most dramatic answer I've ever heard. I'm sorry. He literally was like, I am the smoking shadows.
So he's a dark thing. Or is he the misogynistic guy?
No, this guy's older.
Yeah.
And he looks different. The misogynistic guy gives me like biker vibes. This guy just gives me like, I'm a duty head vibes.
I'm a duty head?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the succubus lady that lives in the basement. So I was at my house, in bed, thinking about going to the Conjuring House and trying to mentally prepare myself, and they were freaking me out from my home. So you don't have to go somewhere for something to freak you out, and you don't have to leave to have something follow you.
Well, the thing that was in our car from Fairfield, I feel like it was one of the entities that was bothering Anthony already, and because we went there and he got scared, it just appeared that way.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because once he went to sleep, it went away. That's why he went to sleep too. Because he was scared, because he was afraid of the like me smiley demon that was there.
Are you the shadow everyone sees at the end of this hallway?
So there's a rumor that we have a 7-foot tall shadow man.
Its name that it calls itself is just me. Which is why it had the big smile and the weird eyes. That's so funny.
Okay.
I hope I explained that. I don't know. More people are probably gonna be more scared now. They're gonna tell us like, when I watch scary things, like someone asked us like, when I watch ghost hunting videos, are the things in the ghost hunting videos scaring me?
What do you mean? Obviously they are.
I think you should look at the camera and say that. I mean, yeah, it's just, that's how it is. There's not like a separation between things. So you don't have to, people just think that you have to go somewhere in order to talk to someone or get an attachment. And my thing is, no, you don't. But you also don't have to have an attachment. They're just there to scare you or teach you something. It's up to you how you deal with it.
My next one is astral projection. I didn't know that I astral projected. So, astral projection is when you are asleep. You don't have to be asleep. People can do it while they're awake, but it's basically when your soul kind of like leaves your body and goes explore the like spiritual realm, but you're still like tied to your body. You're not like dead or something like that.
No.
But what's interesting with that is you can astral project without you knowing about it, because if you are a soul like stepping out of your body, a lot of times you won't have the like experience present time doing it, because you stepping out of your body steps out of physical time. So you can astral project in what feels like a few seconds here, but you are gone for like days in the astral. So what happens for me is that will happen. There's times where I will hear people's voices and not see anything, because seeing things is hard for me, especially when I'm not in my body. But I'll hear people's voices when I'm astral projecting, and then I'll get like weird feelings of like being thrown back into my body. And then after I astral project, I'll have dreams about what happened, because I just experienced it.
Can you explain to people what astral projecting is for all the people that might not know?
I just did.
Did you?
Yeah, I said it's when you basically, your soul leaves your body, but you're still tied to it. Unless you have a different explanation.
No. I figured you were talking about, and I've been having ringing in my ears lately, and I don't know why. And
I was like, I just explained it.
No, it's not tinnitus, because I even was like, maybe I should go to the doctor's. I'm like, no, I don't have tinnitus.
Are you astral projecting?
I don't think so. And that's my thing. I feel like I'm not astral projecting, but I know you have a different opinion of that.
Yeah, you astral project in your sleep.
Yeah, it's just hard for me to try and...
Do you ever feel really exhausted when you wake up?
I don't ever not feel exhausted.
Astral projection. You have very vivid dreams that make no sense, of you in places you don't necessarily remember, like physically know where you are. Astral projection. I don't know. I just saw you astral projecting into my house, so... And you have a white cat that brings you back to your body.
I think you should just make a whole video on astral projection, because I'm not convinced. Like, I am, but I'm not.
I don't think I'm going to convince you, because I already talked to you about it.
Yeah, it freaks me out. I don't know. I feel like it's a possibility, but it's also like one of those things where I'm like, I have to like...
I only see it here.
The science part of my brain goes, we need more proof that we're astral projecting. And I don't know. You don't have to convince me. I would rather hear about it, but I'm also like, I don't know.
Okay. I mean, you believe in, like, the spirit realm.
Yeah.
What's the difference? How are we actually separated from it?
Well, I always thought that astral projecting was when your soul leaves your body and you traverse you can traverse the physical world in real time and the, like, metaphysical different places out of time.
Okay.
But I don't know how I would have the ability to do that.
You just don't believe you can do it.
Yeah. I feel like I can have dreams about things, which would be like a premonition, but I don't...
Your spirit guides told you that you were astral projecting.
When?
You told me that you were astral projecting.
But that was that one dream when I was like 7.
That's just an example of one of them.
It freaks me out.
Because that was like the one time where you got a glimpse of being outside of your body. Because that has happened to me.
I don't remember seeing myself outside of my body. I just remember I woke up in a dream.
Explained it to you.
It freaks me out.
Yeah, I know.
Denial.
Yeah, your turn.
Oh, learning about vibrations and frequencies from past lives to current mediumship. Em is the one that told me about this, and I think it's kind of fun because it makes sense. I can be on board with this one, but not astral projecting. Not yet.
I don't know what we're talking about yet. So.
Okay, so we went to the Fairfield Infirmary, and we talked to a woman named Margaret, and she explained, like, timelines and things like that when people pass, and that when you pass, you have to live in heaven or spirit for a portion of time where that soul or the souls that are alive on Earth, you aren't with them. And she just explained timey-wimey things. Go check out the video if you want to have an explanation about it.
When you're a soul, can you live in points of the life that you lived? You know what I'm saying? Can you, is it different though?
She says you can only live in the points in which happened in the past.
Yeah. But I'm asking if it's different than actually living them physically.
It is.
Because she keeps showing me her sitting on a bed in there
Yeah.
as a spirit. But I'm also like, how are you talking to us if that's a physical representation of what happened in your life? Now you're talking to us. Did you like jump out of a timeline? And she's like, kind of. I jumped into your timeline.
Yeah, which is why you're able to see that. She's showing you the light that happened in the past.
Yep.
Yeah, but she's talking to us as a soul, physically.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Em and I also learned more about our past lives, and she believes I have a past life as a siren, which I agree with because I think that's fucking cool. I also feel like it's very on brand for me and my soul. But when we were at the Fairfield Infirmary, when we go places and see things, it's always like I see things in layers. Almost as if you were to have one projection and then a different projection of people walking, and I can tell that one is not from this timeline, it's from a different timeline. So almost like projections, basically. So we've always tried to figure out, or we haven't tried, Em did. She figured out that when we were at the Fairfield Infirmary and we were talking to a woman named Margaret, I said that there was like a guard coming down the hallway, or like one of the nurses, like someone to make sure everyone was in their rooms and doing what they were supposed to.
She said there's a man that's coming up here that's not very nice. He's coming from behind us.
Well, good thing we got really careful over there.
It did get
Almost like you were convinced to do so.
I know it's drafty in here, but it did get a little bit colder.
Well, that's why she left for a second when we were just sitting here. I was like, where did she go? She's like, there's a man that's coming from over here. It's more like residually-y.
Is that the man that's not supposed to be over here that the guide was talking about? Or is it a man that's like in charge?
I think he's a guard.
And I thought that she hid our timeline to keep the guard ghost soul man from noticing us, but Em said I did it.
Because you were a siren, and sirens, the reason why people don't think they exist is because they have the ability to slip through timelines.
So
It's the high frequency. They have the ability to like tune it.
I was the pirate parrot, right?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Liv was a siren.
Oh, okay, this is the siren, past life.
But we did a mermaid podcast, and we talked about sirens, but I did not understand sirens in the way that I understand sirens. And now, because the sirens, it's not necessarily that they're singing to hypnotize you to do things. The song is actually a frequency that you emit in order to put yourself into different dimension, timelines, whatever.
yeah. So when it comes to
It's one of your abilities. You do it a lot. That's why you see layers of time. It's like you pick a radio station.
because when we're talking to souls, people always ask, like, how is heaven or spirit able to exist? We have our physical bodies, which ground us to this physical frequency in this timeline. But when your soul leaves your physical body, your soul exists at a higher frequency or higher vibration. That would be like heaven or spirit, which is why when souls explain to me when they look down on us from heaven or spirit, it is like looking down because their frequency is higher, almost like levels of jello or like oil and water, if that makes any sense. So if a siren exists on one frequency and their ability is to change between frequencies, that's why they exist in our folklore, but you don't actually see them because they change frequencies to be in different blips of time and space. But that's the same thing as with souls or human spiritual things. People are like, I need to raise my frequency, raise my vibration to talk to souls and be a medium or whatever. It's because souls exist on a higher frequency. So being able to look at different timelines, it's different frequencies of time. And I didn't know that I did that. To the point of when we were at the Conjuring House with Amanda and we were in the library and we asked if we were going to get any more information about like having the devices go off, and it said no, and then you asked if it was because of me and it said yes. I feel like that was me doing the time thing, but I don't know how to not do it.
Well, you do it because you're scared, so you don't want to be on a timeline where there's scary things.
Yeah,
So you slip through the timeline.
but I don't know how to not do it because it would have been
Confidence. Well, oh no, they say the way to not do it is to understand yourself more.
Yeah, and I don't know that part of myself yet.
Well, it's not even that part, it's just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
But that's how I'm able to talk to different souls on different timelines and different places
Mm-hmm.
and switch frequencies, but I don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah, so if you guys like content like this, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Tune into our podcast on Sunday for more spiritual spankings. Until then, we are your meta PsycKicks. The thing I have is we're not supposed to know everything about anything, otherwise we would have no point in existing. So, one of the things that a lot of people that watch our channel that either support and don't support us, I feel like it's more people that don't support us, but they ask questions of like, why do you guys not know this? Like, tell me my name. What are the winning lottery numbers? When am I gonna die? Things like that. And those questions always get me because as psychic mediums, we're not supposed to know everything about everything. Because if we did, we wouldn't be talking to you on YouTube.